Socrates, which is a compliment, but he was vilified. He ended up poisoning himself in Athens. The charge against him was corrupting the youth. And when I'm sitting there saying, don't listen to the bullshit, become physically strong, think for yourself, prioritize your brotherhood, do not blindly comply, all these things I'm saying, they just sat there one day and said, wait, the most popular person on the planet is saying don't listen to our bullshit. Really?
What's going on, YouTube? Happy New Year's Eve. It's 10:40 p.m. on the East Coast. This is Rochelle Tannen. Tonight I'm in the house. My plans didn't go as planned, but they're going very well. So I'm going to go out tomorrow because in less than 90 minutes, they will be shooting big guns off in the city of brotherly love at midnight like they do every year. But I'm jumping on here, guys, to talk about Mr. Andrew Tate and his brother Nathan Tate. As you guys know, Andrew's been arrested on trafficking charges. And I never really watched Andrew Tate. I know he's very present on the social media platforms, or at least he was, because he was canceled essentially. And when he got arrested, I started looking into him, and I was talking to a young man. He's 29 that we shoot the shit every now and again, a neighbor. And he's a young man who loves Kevin Samuels. And I was asking him what he thought about Andrew Tate getting arrested. And he lit up and he said, I like Andrew Tate better than Kevin Samuels. And I said to him, Andrew Tate's an 80s kid. Now, if you know me, and as I build my channel, I tell you guys, I look at everything in time. I can't help it. And I can tell an 80s person, a person born in the 80s, damn near to the year by looking at them. 70s as well, 90s as well. Because every decade has its own flavor. And I could tell by looking at Andrew Tate, he's an 80s kid. And funnily enough, the young man, the 29-year-old, he Googled him as we were talking. He said 1986. And Andrew Tate couldn't be born in any other year but 1986, in which his birthday just passed. So happy birthday, Mr. Tate the Third. He couldn't have been born in any other year in the 80s but 86, and I'm going to tell you why. As a Leo, I like to read things about the signs, like their favorite foods, their favorite holidays, yada, yada, yada. And I came across an article over the summer that says a Leo's song for their personality is Fight for Your Right to Party by the incomparable, fabulous Beastie Boys. That song came out in 1986. I love that song because you really do have to fight for your fucking right to party. And a lot of men have forgotten that shit. They don't fight for their right to party no more. Andrew hasn't forgotten that. I remember 1986 because I was 6 years old in 1986. I remember the Challenger blowing up and having to watch that in first grade and being traumatized. That was also the day I said I did not want to be an astronaut. Rochelle wanted to be a secretary. That was the day when the Challenger blew up in 86. Now, Mr. Tate, I started watching some of his stuff, and to be honest with you, he's growing on me. He's really grown on me. I don't agree with everything he says, but I respect him because he's tough. I respect him because some of the stuff he says, honestly, used to be common sense shit. I don't agree with everything he says. I came across something he was saying about if he meets a 33-year-old woman, she's got a high body count and he doesn't want to deal with this, da 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 da. That's not necessarily true because older women, to my knowledge, some of them anyway, weren't having sex as young as women are today because certain things weren't as accepted. So you could have a young woman with a real high body count and someone in her 30s or 40s with a lower body count, because some women my age or in their early 30s now got married real young. But it's all about perspective. I'm not mad about his perspective because I don't know what it is to be a 37-year-old man dealing with these 30-something-year-old women of today, because these women are a trip just like the men are a trip. But I respect his opinion. And let me say, I don't think he should have been kicked off of any of these platforms. I don't think anyone should be kicked off of any of these platforms. Anything short of threatening someone or anything that's demented and like animal abuse and shit like that, yeah, you should be pulled off the internet. But an opinion, even though I didn't agree, because let's be clear, So you guys, all the people that don't like Andrew Tate or your Kevin Samuels or your Tommy Sotomayers, you're entitled to that. But what you're not entitled to do is get them removed and censor them because of an opinion. It seems like there's an unfair standard for what's acceptable and what's not. When it comes to censorship, I'm not one for censorship. I'm an 80s kid. A lot of the people you young people wear on your t-shirts and shit and don't care to know why these people are innovative and why they're on t-shirts. You should know a lot of those people fought against censorship to get their music, their television shows, their movies produced back in the day. They fought for their right to fucking party. They understood, man. They understood. Even with Def Jam, because Def Jam didn't come to be without fighting the system. NWA didn't come to be. 2 Live Crew, Nirvana, all these people had to fight for their right to party and do things their way. And in life, you have to do that. So no, they should be snatched now. And some of the stuff they say is true. Like with Kevin Samuels, for example, that I saw Kevin Samuels and his image as fraudulent. He wasn't my cup of tea, but it doesn't take away from some of the stuff he said was true. Black women don't want to hear it. Listen, you're not getting higher than your baby daddy. If you take a fucking baby to term, you better really love that man, because it's not the next man's obligation to treat you better than the nigga you had a kid with. He was right. He was a hypocrite in a lot of ways, but some shit he said was right. And if you don't like him, turn him off. Same thing with Tommy Sotomayor. I know personally Tommy Sotomayor is an asshole, but should he been taken off of YouTube? No. Because in Tommy's case, not only did he help build YouTube, some of the shit he said about what was going on is true. Him and Kevin Samuels were hypocrites on one hand, but some of the shit they said is true. No, they shouldn't be off the internet. And as I said, Tommy helped build YouTube, literally. Because there had never been anyone like him before, saying the things he said. He has a good sense of humor and a good camera presence. Whether you like him or not, you got to respect that hustler. Same thing with Andrew Tate. No, he shouldn't be taken down. Now, Cardi B, she weighed in and she said 3 words on her social media. Well, for these trafficking charges with Mr. Tate. I don't think Cardi B is the last of the so-called celebrities that should ever comment on censorship or what's fair and whatnot, because women play the shot. Listen, if it was fair, Cardi B should be in fucking jail, because when you were in the Bronx stripping and shit, you were robbing and drugging men. You admitted that on your own social media, and you get held as the Woman of the Year. And furthermore, Cardi B, you should be against censorship, because your song WAP, that the 2 Live Crew sample you're using, that 2 Live Crew had to go to the Supreme Court to get their albums released. They're the reason for the explicit stickers, them and NWA, that used to be on CDs, that still read on cover art, even if you look at the cover art on digital platforms. Where do you think those came from? Now, Andrew Tate will get pulled down for being a, quote, misogynist, for honestly just telling the truth about a lot of these women out here. But Cardi B doesn't get taken down when she's doing a triple kiss scene in one of her music videos. And little kids can access this shit. She don't get taken down. That's empowerment. But he gets taken down because they're saying he don't want a chick with a high body count. The hypocrisy kills me. And no, the same way Cardi B isn't censored with some of her filth. Yes, filth. Filth. He shouldn't be censored for an opinion. Now, Greta Thunberg, I heard the name, but I couldn't remember her. I had to Google her. And I remember her from being the 15-year-old talking about climate change. That's part of the problem. These kids aren't supposed to be smarter than adults, and you keep telling these niggas they are. Greta. Yeah, right. You don't have to like what Andrew Tate says, but how dare you, if these charges are true, which I don't know I don't watch these people as much, but I'm kind of doubtful. Because Andrew Tate does one thing that a lot of male YouTubers don't do. Especially because Andrew Tate is mixed. He's the son of a fucking international chess master. So this man and his brother comes from excellent seed. Whoever his mother was, go ahead, girl. If you're going to pick a seed to carry forward, make it an international chess master. Do you know how brilliant you have to be an international chess master? Kings play chess. That's a thinking man's game. Most of you niggas can't master checkers. Andrew Tate, one thing I like about Andrew Tate and Greta and all these women who are trying to accuse him and all this other stuff, Andrew Tate does one thing that I don't see a lot of other YouTubers do. He talks about trashing other ethnicities of women. Oh, because you would get a saturation on YouTube of talking about black women. And even though Andrew's father's black, Andrew's mixed. So here's the thing. Andrew can walk a line. I could never, because my parents are full black. Andrew can look Greek. He can look Italian. When I first saw him, I thought he was Italian. He can really play the line, and he can date different women. And he's self-made. That's another impressive thing. That's a 1986 boy. That's a 1986 boy. Y'all women and men that make fun of Andrew Tate, never forget, he can kick your ass. He's a world-renowned lightweight fucking mixed martial champion or something where he could fuck you up. And your boyfriend. Especially your boyfriend. He can fuck him up. He's self-made. He can deal with all kind of women. So he gets to see the trash in other ethnicities, unlike full black male YouTubers who only talk about black women like there's no trash in other ethnicities. See, when y'all dog black women and shit, black women are to the point, they ain't got the backing to get you pulled down like white women do, like they're doing with Andrew Tate. You feel me? Because Andrew Tate airs out women, not just black women. Because yes, in black women you do have bitter, angry, all that other stuff. But you have those of us that we like life. You have those of us that were raised decently. And we get caught up in the sauce. Matter of fact, if we say anything, we're always angry, we're always bitter, we're always this, we're always that. We get those titles thrown at us when it couldn't be farther from the truth. I had commented about Jaguar White and I said she was bitter. And someone commented back to me, when you call someone bitter or crazy, it's because they're telling the truth. I know that because I've been called bitter or crazy for telling the truth. But Jaguar White is the epitome of bitter. She's a performer who couldn't get on. That's another video. Go watch my other video if you want to know what I'm talking about. But black women get scrutinized, but these other races don't get scrutinized. And yes, you have some trashy broads amongst Caucasian, Asian, Western and Eastern Asian, Latinas, all trash bags. When you can call somebody like Cardi B Woman of the Year, again with the filth she's produced in the last several years, but pull him down because he knows what he wants from a woman, there's something wrong there. And the death of Barbara Walters, as I think that she'll be the last huge death in 2022. Cardi B isn't groundbreaking. Cardi B isn't empowerment for females. She's not none of that shit. And it's hard being those celebrities that came up in the internet and they crossed over to Hollywood and stuff because y'all let your business be known. She'll tell you about some robbing men and all this other stuff, but she in another image she's married and whatnot. Why do you think she wants to have that image and not a forever stripper image? On the one hand, but she's crash trash on the other. It doesn't seem fair. And I, as a black woman, again, I thank Andrew Tate. Thank you for exposing the ugly trash amongst other women, because black men don't seem to fucking get it. Some of the women I'm sure that Andrew Tate would just have a one night hookup with, black men will hold that trash on high, like they hold trash like Kim Kardashian on high. Trash bags, with money or without. Black men hold because she has long hair coming down her fucking scalp. You think she's a dime. Andrew Tate's letting you know a lot of these bitches aren't dimes. They're not good women. They're not good people. And no, he shouldn't be snatched off these platforms. Especially when I get tired of people who get snatched off these platforms that help fucking build these platforms. One of the reasons for now, until I get monetized and move on and whatnot, even then, gritty. YouTube used to be fucking gritty. You could just jump on and see everyday people telling their thoughts. No fancy intros and thumbnails and bullshit. You could just get it in. It was raw. That's what attracted. That's what blew up YouTube. Instagram's a little different. I don't Instagram. I'm not going to say I never would as time goes on. But if I'm on Instagram, certainly I got to get paid every fucking day. Because one of the most evil 80s kids one of the most evil people of all time, but he's certainly an 80s kid, owns Instagram. He couldn't get me to use Facebook every day 20 years ago, and I damn sure don't use it now. Because you're going to have to pay me for Instagram, because Instagram has a lot of trash and a lot of faux celebrities and faux sense. It's a fucking wasteland. All these motivational speakers. Speaking of, Andrew Tate says something so profound about motivational speaking. I've been told you should be a motivational speaker, but I never fell into it. And what he said was right. A motivational speaker is bullshit. Because if you're talking to people that are too lazy to get up and go do it, that's bullshit. You may not, if you really want something, you may not feel like doing it all the time, but you get to it. That's where I'm at going into 2023. It's been quite a interesting last couple weeks, and I know I've been slacking, but judging by my subscribers going up and up and up, you guys must like me. I like you too. Thank you for the love. And I'm getting there, but I'm gonna get there. Andrew's a bad boy, and I hope he beats these charges, because I'm inclined. Why is it the most ugly women are always accusing someone of doing something to them? Look at Greta Thunberg, or whatever her name is. Look at that woman, and look at Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate may not be everyone's cup of tea, but as a man, he's a handsome man. His brother is as well. His daddy is as well. Like I told his mama, go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl. You got you one, girl. And I'm just hard-pressed to believe that these charges are authentic. This is about censorship. Like Andrew Tate said about electric cars, it's bullshit. In the climate, bullshit. And it seems if you have an opposing view, you're always labeled as the crazy one, or you're a misogynist, you're this and that. But the other side has they don't get censored. That doesn't feel fair to me. And as the rest of the world, I'm gonna follow what goes on with Mr. Tate. It's enough y'all pulled him off of social platforms. Now you want to take his freedom too over some opinions. It's a very scary world we're moving into. And I assure the people who think this is so great and whatnot, it's not, because one day it'll be your fucking opinion. One day it'll be your goddamn opinion they won't like. To go along to get along. People out here, if you go along to get along, you're viewed as positive. Fuck that. Fuck that. You gotta fight for your right to party. Andrew understands that. And Andrew, again, is paid, legitimately paid. He can afford good lawyers. Now, I don't know if this stuff is true, but I'll tell you what I do know. Cardi B drugging and robbing men, that is true, because that came out her fucking mouth. And if we didn't live in such a slanted society, Cardi B shouldn't even be where she is. And I'm not talking about her music or anything. I'm talking about her persona and what she posted online. And I'm a different kind of nigga. I've been listening to music and buying music before she was in the world. So it doesn't really matter to me, because a lot of her music, most of it is sampled. It's like Prince says, it's a sample of the fucking sample. And I have a certain level of respect for her, but she is what she is. And on that note, I'm not hating on Andrew Tate. I hope he beats the charges. As he says, the Matrix has attacked. He's starting to grow on me. I think I'm going to watch some more of this 1986 Beastie Boys fucking crack era on the East Coast. Challenger blowing up. 1986, man. He's starting really to grow on me. And again, I don't agree with everything he says. Not at all. And I never will. I'm a middle child. I can look at things from both from both sides of the coin. But a lot of shit he says is good shit, and he's very entertaining, and he's very self-made, and I respect that, and he's tough. He has balls. I'll always respect that. A lot of black influencers that down black women, but then talk about Kim Kardashian like she's a fucking catch. They have no balls. They can't get other women. They can't get women they think of as a catch. Andrew can. Nathan can too. And for anybody that says Andrew's gay or he does this and that, I don't know that. He lived in London and things. They view things differently over there from what I understand. He's an attractive man. I don't know. But what I do know is he can pull your bitch and he can whip your boyfriend's ass. And on that note, guys, Happy New Year. I'm hated on Greta, but not Andrew Tate. I look forward to talking to you guys. Happy New Year. Be safe if you go out there. Make sure you return to your loved ones. And almost 2023. I'm out.